glad you can be with us for today's daily devotion. You remember yesterday when we were talking about Jairus, how that on his way to Jairus' home, that Jesus got interrupted. There was a huge crowd pressing against him, but there was a woman in the crowd, and the Bible says that she had had hemorrhage for 12 years. Now understand, Jairus was the chief official of the synagogue, but this woman couldn't go into the synagogue because she was ceremonially unclean. So for 12 years, she had not been allowed to go to the place of worship. And she was even told that she was supposed to keep her distance from people, although at this particular time, it doesn't look like she was actually doing that. But the Bible says she reached out and touched the fringe of Jesus' garment. In another account, I believe Luke's account, it was that she had told herself, if I could just do that, I would be made well. Well, there's nothing in the Bible that says, thou shalt be made well if thou touchest the garment of a rabbi. But there were some rabbis that taught that. It wasn't biblical necessarily, but the point here was this woman believed that Jesus could do anything that Jesus wanted to do, that he was God in the flesh. And in desperation, she said, I'm going to try this. And it says she was immediately made well. And Jesus said, who touched me? And the disciples said, all these people are bunching up against you. What do you mean, who touched me? And Jesus said, I felt power go forth from me. Somebody touched me. And the woman came trembling to Jesus, and she said, it was me, and I've had this hemorrhage for 12 years. I felt like if I could just touch the fringe of your garment, I would be made well. And he said, daughter, go in peace. Your faith has made you well. But I want you to understand that there are two different Greek words. There's one for being made well, it's therapeuo. But then there's a word that means saved, and that's the word sozo. And that's the word that Jesus used here. He was telling her, not only are you healed because you placed your faith in the Son of God, but you're saved because you placed your faith in the Son of God. You know, he used that term one other time when 10 lepers came to him and they wanted healing. And he said, you're clean. Go show the priest that you've been made well. And 9 of them just kept on going, and one of them returned and bowed down before Jesus and gave praise to God. And Jesus said, your faith has made you well, go in peace. But he didn't use therapeuo. He said, sozo. Your faith has saved you. Once again, God honors faith because faith honors God. Well, what about this touching the fringe of the garment? You know what? Well, she didn't know much, but it was the faith that he honored. And my mind goes to like the Philistines. It seems like the Israelites were always fighting the Philistines, and the Israelites felt like they were losing because they didn't have the Ark of the Covenant with them in the battle, but actually it was because God was punishing them because they were worshiping idols and they were being wicked. They said, you know what, we're going to take those Philistines on again if we'll take the Ark of the Covenant with us. And they lost again, and the Philistines stole the Ark of the Covenant that represented the very presence of God in the tabernacle. And they put it in the temple of their god Dagon, and Dagon's statue kept falling on its face and breaking into pieces. And in addition to that, the people of the city were getting sick. The city was overrun with rats, and the people were getting hemorrhoids. Well, they moved the Ark of the Covenant to another city in Philistia, and the same thing, rats and hemorrhoids. Then a third time. And so the lords of the Philistines got together and they said, Their God is stronger than our God, and we need to get this box and send it back to them. And so they put it on an ox cart, and they had a heifer pulling the ox cart, and they made 5 golden rats as an offering and 5 golden hemorrhoids and sent the Ark of the Covenant back. And you know what? God healed them. Now, nowhere in his word does he say, hey, if you've got bad tonsils, make golden tonsils and I'll make you well, or if you've got trench foot, make golden toes or anything like that. They were ignorant to the point that they didn't know what to do, but faith. As best as they could, they trusted God as much as they could. And God honored it. Yeah. Put your faith in him, learn what his word says, and you'll become more intimate with him and you'll understand him better. But understand this, he'll meet you right where you are today if you'll just place your faith in him and trust him. He'll honor that faith. God bless you real good. I'm done.